Good evening, YouTube. It is Monday, the 14th of August. I'm going to try changing the place where my phone is and where my microphone is. I'm having a real nightmare with this sound of these videos. So I'm going to try re-recording this video in the current setup. At the moment, my microphone is attached to my sun visor and my phone is back in the centre of my van. If you have any suggestions for either the camera and or the microphone setup that will give me good quality sound while I'm in the van, I think I'm at the point now where I probably need some help with this. I have got a microphone, Bluetooth microphone attached to this phone. It's an iPhone, but I'm not convinced it's going to be good sound. So let's see how this one goes. This is the fourth time I've recorded this video, or at least tried recording video tonight. Let me run through today. It's been a really good day, and a couple of things to tell you about off the back of it. So first of all, this morning I got myself woken up at 7 o'clock, which was a bit of a struggle, but I had to get myself up because I put a bid on over the weekend for an 8 o'clock start. I hadn't received that bid, but I wanted to be available in case they called me. And I put another bid on this morning as I woke up for a job going from Bourne to Nottingham for an 8 o'clock to 8:30 pickup. So I got a call, and it was a mobile number, and it was in fact the one that I bid on from Bourne. And the guy rang me and said, it's a bit weird really, so I'll tell you, paraphrase what he said. He said, I'm not charging my customer VAT, so can we do this one a bit cheaper? I'd put on a bid of £60 for a 50-mile small van job. And I just was in my automatic response of, no, I'd rather not do it cheaper, thank you. And he said, okay then, and then he hung up. And I wasn't certain from that whether that meant, oh, okay then, I'm going to give it to you anyway, and put it through, or okay then, I'll go get someone else to do it. So I did look out on the CX app for any jobs coming through, and nothing came through on my job, so I assumed therefore I wasn't getting it. And I want to talk in a moment about my approach to pricing, but I wanted to finish this off first. So I carried on getting ready for the morning, had a shower and stuff, and then I got a call back from the same guy offering me the job for £60, which I gratefully accepted. And he asked me to get there as soon as I could, and I was about 20 minutes away, so I got myself. I went down to know, so the shop didn't open until 8 o'clock. So it would be about 7:30, so I had a bit of time to get ready still. So yeah, I got ready and I made my way across and got to the shop at 8:10 in the end. I picked up the item. It was a small item which fitted into the cab of my van. I did my usual thing, took a photo, got POD written up, got the customer that I picked it up to sign it, and then made my way towards Nottingham. So I want to tell you at this point my pricing sort of discussion. So today, I pretty much, this morning at least, was bidding on stuff at £1 a mile for loaded mile, and also £1 to get me to the pickup point per mile, pickup point. So it's well over £1 a mile for most jobs, and they were mostly small van jobs. And I didn't get most of them. I did get some of them. In the end, I got 3 CX jobs. And when I go through them, they're all for more than £1 a mile, and they're all small van jobs. And in fact, all the 3CX jobs could have been done in a car, and I got over £1 a mile for every single one of them. So my first point is my pricing strategy is stuck at £1 a mile. I don't go below the £1 a mile for anything really. And my minimum, I'm beginning to feel, is £60 now, 60. It was kind of 50, but today I was kind of thinking I don't want to do work minimum job 50. I'd rather do 60. So I think I'm beginning to think that 60 is my minimum. I might not always do that. If it's literally sort of 3 or 4 miles, I might do a £50 minimum. So I suppose £60 is not a minimum, but if it's anything over sort of 24, 25 miles, I think £60 is where I'm going to pitch it. So the point I wanted to make about pricing is not just that, it's something else. It's that I've got into my head the idea I'm not going to reduce my price. And I found that I can be quite, in life generally, quite stubborn. And this helps me with this tactic. So when someone calls me, I know I'm not going to reduce my price. So I just tell them, as soon as they ask, without even thinking a second about it, no, I'm sticking to my price. So that helps me maintain that element of what I'm trying to do. But I want to talk to you about someone I do have a lot of respect for. No longer just videos, but it's Van on the Run videos. And I remember he used to get a lot of shippers sort of bargaining him down. And I remember him saying on one or two videos, like he thought he would add on a £5 to his prices, and then he could then bring the price down to what he really wanted. And although I said to have a great deal of respect for him, I just don't agree with that tactic. I think it's the wrong tactic for drivers to do. I've heard other comments, and I agree with these other comments, which I don't know the exact wording, but to paraphrase it this way: people say you should do a job for the price you can afford to do it for. And I think that's absolutely right. What you need to do as a driver is you work out your costs, you work out what does it cost you to do the job, and what would you be prepared to do it for. That's just purely your decision. It should have nothing to do with external factors, nothing to do with the day, the week, or the shipper, or the type of load. It should be just you know, for a particular type of job, an A to B job, what you're prepared to do it for. And then you bid that on the blind bidding platform, which is CX. So the first point is, I absolutely agree, you should just bid what you want to do the job for. And if other people get the job at less money, well, fine, don't worry about it. Certainly don't reduce your price to match them, because you don't know what their overheads are. You cannot run a business just reducing prices because some other people get jobs you didn't. There'll be other jobs. I've learned that myself. There'll be other jobs. So the first thing is, you shouldn't be doing that, in my view. You should do the job for the price that it works for you, and you are in control of that. And then the idea that you might artificially build in a £5 or £10 reduction if a shipper asks you, I think is completely self-defeating. Because all that does is it encourages the shipper to think they can beat the price down of drivers. So just because you might think, I'll add a £5 onto this bid, and then when they ask me for a £5 off, I can do it to get for what I want. You're not being clever there. You're just encouraging the shippers to ask for the reduction. And if everyone always said, no, that's my price, and stuck to their guns, shippers wouldn't ask for the reduction. It just wouldn't happen, because they would know the answer. So I find it weird. It's a weird one why drivers might think that doing that is a tactic that's worth doing. I just don't get it. I get the logic of it, but I just don't agree with it, I suppose. I understand it, don't agree with it. So when a shipper, so when I put a price in, I put a price in for the price I would do a job for, based on a load of factors. And if a shipper rings me, then obviously there wasn't anyone else there who did it for the price they wanted. So why would I, if they've rung me, why would I then reduce my price if they ask me to? It doesn't make any sense. If they're going to ringing me, they're busy people. They're not going to ring me on the off chance, and then if I don't do what they want, they've got, they're going to not give me the job. It might happen, but sorry, I'm not saying it very well, but it might happen that they ring you to ask for a reduction, you don't give it, and they can't give you the job because they can't afford it. Well, that's fine. I don't mind that. They're asking, you're telling them, so they're going away. They can't do it. The bid is a bid. I don't mind them asking the question, to be honest. Even if they're asking the question, if they want to ask me just a bid, fair play to you. There is a phrase: you don't ask, you don't get. But they won't get it from me. They won't get a reduction from me. And I suppose over time, the more and more shippers deal with me, the more they might realise there's no point asking. Yeah, but I'll get distracted. But my point is, if they're going to ring me, why would I undermine my own blind bid by saying I'll accept a lower price? It doesn't make any sense. If I don't get the job, there'll be another one coming along in a moment. You can bid on the next one. Might be a better job that comes along. Yeah, I know. I suppose I'm finding it quite. For some reason, I'm quite frustrated by that whole thing. I don't know why. Why am I frustrated by what other drivers do? Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'll just come across that way. I think what's frustrating me is we don't work together as drivers. We don't work in collaboration. We do stuff that undermines each other by these tactics. And if we just had some sort of minimal collaborative working, I don't mean collaborating on a job, but just some principles like don't bid less than the cost it costs you to do the job. Don't reduce your bid if someone asks you for it. Don't don't go too, even on a backload. Don't go too low because you're taking business away from someone else. Might be making from it. Like backload work. I wasn't going to say this, but backload work. 50p a mile for backload work. I would never do that. I think it's taking a job away from someone else. Now, you might not agree with that. You maybe think that I need a job. I've got to get home, and so if that's a decision, fair enough. But it's not for me. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. If I did a backload job at 50p a mile, I know for a fact that I don't see the point of me doing it. I think I'd rather do the dead miles. I'd rather tramp out. Or to be fair, no, a better answer. I'd rather get the money in the job going up that I wouldn't need to do 50p a mile. That's the key thing. It starts before you even get to that point. Don't do a job going somewhere where you have to then bid 50p a mile to get back to make any sort of money. Get your money before you go away from home, and then you don't need to necessarily bid the silly prices to get back. Oh, I don't know. I'm going off on one. Sorry, I wasn't meaning to do this, but yeah, I suppose the frustration is, as drivers, we should be looking out for each other as a community. There's not really a mechanism to do that, I don't think, other than maybe social media, but I don't know how effective that is. And maybe there's other social media platforms like Facebook where they do have more of a discussion about these things, but I'm not part of that sort of side of things. Anyway, so let's try and move on. So I've had enough to tell on that. So I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Let me move on. So I got to Nottingham. I offloaded my item. I was looking for other jobs. I did a couple of bids, and then there was a job that came up from Nottingham. I had two bids on the go at the same time. One was from Nottingham to Nottingham, £50. One was from Nottingham to Boston. £60 a bit for that. I had a call come through. I'm not sure who it was, and they offered me a job. And it was the going back to Boston. So I got £60 for a 50-mile journey. Basically it was a car job. I picked up my job from Nottingham, made my way to Boston. I picked it up around about 11ish. Got to Boston about 1:45, and then I unloaded, and I was looking for a job coming from there. And I had a bit of a quandary here because there wasn't much around. There was a job going from Boston to Uttoxeter. It wasn't going until 5 o'clock, so I put a bid on because I was pretty sure I knew where that was going. So I put a strong bid on £120, and I thought I'd go home, and if I'd look for jobs from home, and if I didn't get anything, I'd then hope to get this job at 5 o'clock in Uttoxeter, and then go from there. But as it was, I got on my way home, I got almost all the way back. Then a job came up from Boston to Stoke-on-Trent, and I'm pretty sure it's the same company, and I was pretty sure it's the same business I was delivering to. And so I put the same bid on 120, and I got a call, and they said, how far away are you? I said, I was half an hour. If I'd stayed where I was, I'd have been round the corner from the pickup. And I probably would have saved myself 10 miles away and back. But I just don't like sitting around doing nothing. So got the job, got my way back over to Boston, picked up the item, and it was literally a plastic bag of components. It was the smallest thing. I put it on my front seat, took a photo, did the paperwork, and made my way towards Stoke-on-Trent. It did say the notes to call shipper when you got loaded. Loaded is a very strange way of saying it. But I called them. They didn't seem to be too bothered that I got the item, but I did what they said. Told them I'd be over at Stoke at about 5 o'clock. So I made my way across to Stoke. I got the item delivered pretty quickly. No waiting time really. And then I was looking for jobs. It was about 5 past 5 as I was looking for jobs. There was nothing really around, so I had a decision to make at this point. And so at this point I'll bring in the regular shipper that I work for, gave me a job for this week, and their job was from Leeds, pick up to Manchester, to originally it was to Stockport, but that got taken off, and then it was going to Buxton, pick up, then dropping off at High Wycombe. And so at this point it was 5 o'clock, and I was at Stoke, and I realised I was only about 23 miles away from Buxton. So I thought, well, I could do that route in reverse if I had time to get it all. And that was the unknown. Did I have time to get to all the places and pick up in time? So I thought, well, I'll try at least and see how I got on. So got my way to Buxton to pick up Buxton, no problem at all. Then I went to Manchester, and I could pick up there, and that was all right. And I wasn't quite sure how far away from Leeds I was. I was quite pleased to see it was only 45 minutes. So I rang ahead, pre-warned them that I was on my way, and asked them, I might be there tonight, I might not. And I just hoped that by the time I got there, they were still there. And made my way to Leeds. And luckily, because of my call, I was able to do my pickup in Leeds. And I was really grateful to the guy that helped me there. He was well within his rights to say, you're too late, come back tomorrow morning. But he allowed me access. I got the items really quickly, and that meant that I'd finished my pickups for that shipper. And so I could then make my way back home, which is on the way from Leeds to High Wycombe, and stop off at home tonight in my own bed. So that's really finished off the day really nicely. And for the what was the Leeds, Manchester, Buxton, High Wycombe job, I'm getting £355, 355. And it was originally 4 stops, but I didn't change the price when one got cancelled. And that is including handballing, which makes it more than a normal CX job would be. But because I'm not going to be finished tonight, that won't get added on to my spreadsheet till tomorrow morning. But what it does mean now is that I've done most of the work for that job, and I'm going to get to stay in my own bed tonight. It has been a long day today, but I'm going to get back to stay in my own bed, and I can have a late start tomorrow morning, and then I know I've made my money tomorrow already when I've offloaded my items. So, really good. Went really well today. So, I want to give you some figures tonight. That's what I was going to do. I did 3 CX jobs today, and if I'd stopped at 5 o'clock and did nothing else, obviously my day would have been a lot shorter, and I'd have made a decent amount of money in that 3 CX jobs. I would have made £200 after fuel if I stopped at that point, but I didn't. I carried on. So today, by the time I finished and got home, I would have worked for 15 and a half hours. I've driven for 461 miles, 461. My current mileage rate for fuel is 14.36 pence per mile. That means that my cost of fuel today will be £66.21. My gross earnings today in total will be £240, 240. And that's made up from 3 CX jobs, the £60 from Bourne to Nottingham, the £60 from Nottingham to Boston, and the £120 from Boston to Stoke. After fuel, therefore, I would have made £174 today, 174. And then tomorrow, I will make 355, which has mostly been done today. And then whatever I do after that in the afternoon, so it's going to be more than that, whatever I get for CX tomorrow. I'm going to try and head away from London, so we'll obviously see how it goes. Right, I wanted to talk to you about my insurance. Before I do that, can I please acknowledge a couple of things about my subscribers? I've got 2 more subscribers from Friday, so 121 today. I want to thank those 2 extra ones, but also I want to thank everyone else who's not unsubscribed. So actually, it's not just about people coming on board, it's all those people who stay on board. So thank you for everyone who is part of this community. My insurance. So I want to talk a bit more about that. I did talk about it in my last video. I had a call today from my current insurance broker, and it reminded me of an issue I have with insurance brokers, and I want to tell you a bit about that. Every August I have the same thing happen. I try and get my insurance sorted out as soon as I can, and they won't do it. I won't get a renewal quote until about 20 days before my quote is up for renewal, and I get a price coming through, and it always goes up from the previous year, always. So what I've learned to do is I do some comparison searches before that comes through. I do a couple of comparisons. I ring the company, tell them all my information, get them to research it, and then give me a price. And this year I had a couple of prices, and the best price I got was £1,736, including goods in transit at £50,000 and public liability at £5 million. And I thought that was pretty good. So if I get those insurances separately, the goods in transit and the public liability, it's £206, 206. And so my current insurance renewal was 800 and something. And I thought, well, I'm not going for that. It's way too much. I rang them to give them a couple of updates. I updated my mileage and my value for my vehicle, a claim that I'd made on my windscreen. And then the insurance quote, when they told me about it last week, went down by a couple £100. So I said to them, well, that's still not as good as my other one. Bring me back next week and I'll let you know my final decision. And they came back to me and they asked me whether I wanted to go ahead, and I said I've got a cheaper quote. They asked me what I'd got, and I told them. And then they came back to me with a price that was £17 cheaper than what I just told them. And to be fair, I was a bit irritated by that. And I did say to them, I'm not going to go with you, despite you saying that you're a bit cheaper, because what I'm looking for is somebody, a broker that finds me the best deal for the best product that suits me. And what's happening at the moment is that every year I'm doing the research, telling you what prices I'm getting, and then my current broker is saying we can match that. And that's me doing the work for them. And that's not the point of this. I don't want to do that. And I understand, having done this now for 3 years, the pattern. The pattern is I ring a new broker, they're my best friend for that afternoon or that week, while they try and get me to join them. They'll give me everything they possibly can to get me to join them, and they'll tell me everything that they think is going to work. And then a year later, when I come to get renewal, it's not the same person, they don't know who I am, they give me a price that's more expensive, and I don't feel that there's any value added in being with that person. It's happened now 3 times. So last year, my current broker was the one that was, giving me a great deal and was like really happy to have me on board and being my best friend. And this year, they rang me with a renewal that was way expensive, and then waited for me to do research, and then gave me a cheaper price. It's just not the way it should work. So I don't think it's the fault of the brokers. I think it's what all the brokers do nowadays. I think what I'm noticing is I want customer service driven like a broker. I want them to know my business, know what I need, and give me a recommendation. And maybe they need to ask me some questions to remind themselves. Maybe they need to read their notes to remind themselves. But what I don't want is to come back to me with a renewal and then wait for me to get a cheaper quote and then match it. I'm doing the work for them in that case. So I told my current broker I wasn't going to go with them, even though they gave me a slightly lower price. So I don't agree in principle. And as I was saying, I don't think it's this particular broker being particularly bad. I suspect that it's all insurance companies and all brokers nowadays work the same way. I think it's all about getting the numbers through the doors. It's a numbers game, not a customer service game. And I just want someone. I'm going to be paying out close to £2,000 every year. I want someone who treats me like a customer, not a number. And maybe it's old-fashioned, maybe it can't exist, but like I said, I've got a stubborn streak, so that's what I need from somebody. And because my current broker didn't do that, I'm not staying with them. I'm voting with my feet, I'm going somewhere else. And we'll see a year from now whether my new broker will be any different to the last 3 brokers I've had. I don't think they will be, but I told them on Friday I expect to have a better quality of service from them. That's what I want. That's what I want from them. So we'll see. Yeah, so insurance is going to go ahead on Thursday. I'll pay for it on Thursday. I've just about got enough money in the kitty for that. So that's the things I want to talk about. I've really enjoyed today. I want to finish off on what we mean by that. So this is a job that I really, really enjoy, to the point at which I don't think I want to retire from it. Now, obviously, I will retire one day, but I bet you I do this part-time for a bit of extra money. It's that good a job that I think I'd do it almost like a hobby. Be paid for it, obviously, but do it for like some pocket money. I can't see doing any other job now until I retire. So it's like no other job I've ever had. And I suppose you don't know me well enough to know what that means. I suppose I want to make it clear for these videos, it's a brilliant job. There are ups and downs like all jobs, and it just depends a bit on your outlook and your experience. But if you're thinking about doing same-day courier job for yourself as a self-employed courier, and you've done the research, and you've got a bit of cash behind you for the cash flow issues, and you've got the right attitude and mindset, absolutely you should go for it if it's the right job for you. It's been an amazing experience for me, and I'm so glad that I'm doing it. It's transformed my life. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you because it is something that is such a big part of why I enjoy going to work every day. Okay, I'll bring it to an end now. Thank you very much for listening to my video. I hope the sound is okay. It's been a long day trying to get this video recorded. Enjoy yourselves. What have you learnt today?